everything is here. So I can share my screen and we can start the presentation. Okay, here is the agenda of the today's presentation. First, we will go through the open call procedures for the financial support for third parties, as well as the external evaluators that we're going to use in order to evaluate the proposals that are going to be submitted. Then we will go through the open call descriptions in more detail and the overall modular architecture of cybersecurity project will be given. And then the last part of our presentation will comprise 6 individual presentations that are going to give some more insight regarding our modules. And the last section of our meeting will be devoted to the Q&A, where you can write your questions and we will try to answer most of these questions. If we will be running out of time, we will answer these questions later on, and we will upload a frequent asked questions section on our website, CYberSynchrony website, so that everybody can access it. Let's go through very quickly, go through the open calls for the financial support for third parties and the important dates. The total budget that is going to be distributed is 3 million and 3.55 million. This budget is going to be distributed in 3 open calls. Each project is going to have an 8-month duration. The open calls launch has already started, and it was the 1st of January 2026. And the submission deadline is 2 months later in March, in the 1st of March 2026 at 5 o'clock set time. All 3 calls will be running at the same time. Some useful links for the applicants. All legal and supporting documentation is provided in our website. Here is the link that you can click it and you can find all documentation. The legal documentation comprises the contract, some legal documentation regarding the SMEs, and the supporting documentation contains the guidelines, which is probably the most important document that you have to go through, and the proposal template that you have to use it in order to submit your application. In order to submit your application, you have to use our dedicated submission platform following this link here. We have to mention here that all deadlines are based on the platform server time, which is the 1st of March at 5 set. And another important thing that I have to highlight here is that you may edit your submission before the deadline, of course, as many times as you like, but no changes are possible after the deadline has passed. We have also prepared 2 useful videos. One is related to the general instructions of the open calls. It's like a promotional video, and here is the link. And the other video that is very useful to go and visit it is the instructions on how to use the submission platform in order to submit your proposal. The platform is quite straightforward. There is no difficult procedure, but please go through this video in order to see all the instructions in step-by-step procedure. Also, it's highly recommended to subscribe to our LinkedIn channel so that you have all the latest updates regarding the open calls. A very brief presentation now regarding the open calls. As I said, we have 3 open calls. I'm not going to give much information now, just an overall definition of them. Later on, there's going to be a more detailed description of each open call. So the first open call is related to infrastructure resilience and operational readiness. Its main scope is to enhance the cybersecurity infrastructure in these 2 sectors, such as the energy, transport, or manufacturing. The total budget that's going to be allocated it's approximately 1/3 of the available budget is 1.2 million, and the expected projects that are going to be funded vary from 6 to 9 proposals depending on their budget. And the funding range of each proposal for single entity proposals ranges from 65,000 to 200,000 euros, and in cases of consortiums, 100,000 to 200,000. For this specific open call, it's linked to specific cybersecurity objectives, but this is going to be analyzed later. For the open call 2 is regarding the compliance, innovation, and regulatory advancement. Its main scope is the regulatory compliance, innovative cybersecurity solutions for these 2 sectors. Again, the budget allocation is 1/3 of the total budget, is 1.2 million. Again, the expected proposals is from 6 to 9 proposals. The expected funding, I mean proposals. And the funding range for single entity proposals ranges from 70,000 to 200,000 euros, and for consortiums of 3 to 3 partners from 120,000 to 200,000 euros. For open call 3, which is related to the mutual assistance and cyber collaboration, the main scope here is to foster integrated cybersecurity collaboration among EU member states. For this call, no single entity applications is allowed, so we accept only consortium applications, 2 to 3 entities. The budget allocation here is 1.15 million. The expected funding projects is going to range from 6 to 9, depending on their budget again. And the funding range will range from 100,000 euros to 200,000. Some funding rules and participation. The maximum budget that can be allocated to a third party is 200,000 euros across all calls combined, though. And the limit is that only one proposal can be submitted per third party per call. In case that we have multiple participations in the same open call, this disqualifies all proposals submitted. So please be careful regarding this. You're not allowed to participate in more than one for one call. You are allowed, though, to submit in other proposals, but again, only one. And combined, you cannot get more than 200,000. And the funding scheme we follow the lump sum grant scheme, which means that all costs are tied to deliverable completion. So your payments will be tied to completion of specific deliverables at specific timelines. The eligibility requirements now, since our project runs under DEP, we have some specific geographic eligibility. So 27 EU member states are allowed to submit, the EEA countries, some more participating countries that they are given here. Some more info, you can click on this link so that you can see what the Digital Europe program DEP allows, which is more or less these countries here. Regarding the entity requirements for the projects, for the single entity projects, this can be only an SME, but for consortia of 2 or 3 entities, the coordinator must be an SME, but the rest of the entities can range from SMEs, public entities, other research entities such as research centers or universities, or even individuals. Please refer to the guidelines because each call has its own requirements regarding the eligible partners. And another requirement is that all participants have to have a valid VAT number and, of course, a PIC number. For all three open calls, the large companies are excluded and they are not allowed. Some details regarding the payment structure now for our 8-month FSTP projects. We will have 3 installments, 3 payments throughout the duration of the project in order to monitor the progress and making sure that all deliverables have been submitted successfully. The first pre-financing period is within 1 month after we start the projects, and this is the 30% of the total budget of the project. The second payment will take place in month 4 and will reflect all the work that has been done the first 4 months of the project, and this can go up to 40% of the total budget of the FSTP project. And at the end, the final payment will be made within month 9, so after 1 month after the project ends. And of course, this payment will be made after we have validated that all the remaining deliverables have been submitted successfully and according to the proposal that you have submitted. A little note here for the consortia. All payments will be made to the lead partner, which will be the SME, as we said, and the SME then will be responsible to distribute the payments to the consortium members, more or less what is happening with the big EU projects that usually we deal with. The evaluation criteria now is going to be 4 main evaluation criteria. The first one is related to the relevance and excellence. So clear objectives aligned with the CYberSynchrony goals and the KPIs that we have defined. This is going to be 5 points. Then is the methodology, structured methodology with a clear technical approach, another 5 points. Then is the ambition and the impact, technical, operational, and market level outcomes, another 5 points. And then is the implementation section, where you have to present a realistic timeline, a deliverable list, Gantt charts, and work package description and task descriptions. And this is going to get another 5 points. So in overall, the maximum score that a proposal can get is up to 20 points. So this slide describes the proposal structure and the requirements. The template, you can download it from this link here below. And we have some basic formatting requirements. The language, of course, is going to be in English, the format PDF. The maximum length of the proposal is 10 pages, excluding some annexes. And exceeding the page limit, this is going to end to an ineligible proposal. So please make sure that you fill in all the required information within these 10 pages. The template is split in 7 main sections. So the executive summary, the project objectives, the technical and the methodological approach, the implementation plan, the expected income, the team and organizational capacity, and the budget overview. More or less, this template follows the template that we use for our EU proposals. We have some mandatory deliverables that have to be submitted in month 8. One is going to be a demo video, a duration of 8 to 12 minutes with some specific format details. The content of the video should explain the objectives of your solution, a simple demonstration of your solution and the outcomes. And of course, it's going to relate to the technical and not technical audience. And the main purpose of this video is so that we can publish it on our cybersecurity website and our social media. So please do not include any confidential information here. The second deliverable that it's mandatory is the final results report. This is a small report of a length of 2,000 words, and you have to submit it in both formats, PDF and docx. You have to supply, you have to provide an executive summary of 2,000 characters, and please include figures, diagrams, and other screenshots if necessary. And the purpose is the same in order to be publicly accessible on our cybersecurity website and in order to disseminate all 18 or 19 solutions that we're going to get throughout the open calls. A very small overview of our modules. The proposals must integrate one or more of our modules. This is the main purpose of these open calls. I'm not going to give much information now because we will have dedicated presentations later on to explain what each module does. We have CyRescue, which relates to the resilience and incident response. We have Cybera module, which is on the threat intelligence and risk analysis. The Cybrid, the continuous monitoring and early detection. The cross-core, which relates to cross-border coordination and secure exchange. The CyberGo Plus, which relates to governance and regulatory compliance. And the last module is the CyberWise, which is related to awareness and behavioral training. More information regarding these modules can be found in our public deliverables in this link here. The required documentation now that is going to be needed throughout the submission of your proposal. Of course, the Annex 1. The Annex 1 is the actual proposal. We said that it's maximum 10 pages. And only for the SMEs at the moment, we will require the declaration of honor for each SME. So if, of course, the coordinator must be an SME, as we said, but if there is a second SME in the consortium of 2 or 3 people, this second SME must provide these documents, so Annex 2 and Annex 3. For consortia, of course, we will require the Annex 5, which is the consortium agreement. For Open Call 3 only, we will need a representation affiliation letter that proves how the SME connects to a member state government agency. Some more information is given in our guidelines, so I'm not going to go in detail here. I'm just highlighting the importance of this documentation. And in addition, we have an option in our submission platform so that if necessary, it's not obligatory. If necessary, it's only optional. You can provide up to 3 letters of support in case that you can justify that this support is needed from various partners. Intellectual property rights, the results generated throughout the FSAPT calls are owned by the beneficiary. For example, the software that going to develop, data, algorithms, designs, prototypes, etc. In consortium projects, ownership and responsibilities must be defined in a consortium agreement. The CyberSynchrony Consortium partners and the European Commission receive non-exclusive royalty-free access to the results only, such as monitoring, verification, dissemination for non-confidential information. Of course, the beneficiary remains free to exploit the results commercially. But all the above does not exclude to have specific written agreements between the beneficiary, the FSTP beneficiary, and with one or more CyberSynchrony partners, for example, in terms of integration, testing, or negotiated access. and provided that they do not undermine the access rights and confidentiality rules. Confidential security sensitive information is not disclosed without the third party's explicit consent, and the consortium may request non-confidential summaries for reporting and communication. The review process now, each proposal is going to be evaluated by 2 independent external experts. I'm going to show some slides later on regarding the call for the external experts, external evaluators. We have some tie-breaking rules in case some of the evaluations have the same marks. So in case of tie-breaking, we have first we will consider which proposal contributes more to criterion 1, which is the innovation of concept, the relevance and excellence. Then it's the criterion 2, how the proposal, if the proposal fits better to our technologies of cybersynchrony, and this is going to happen through the methodological soundness. The impact and market potential, this is the criterion 3, which is the ambition and impact. Then if we still have issues to see which proposal is better, then we will choose the proposal which has the lower funding request, then the number of female researchers, and then the European fruiting expansion, which means if the solution is deployed and validated in more EU-associated countries, or involves more users in more countries. After the evaluation, all applicants will receive an ESR, Evaluation Summary Report, and of course we will have a reserve list in case that some of the proposals are ineligible or something happens during the contract signing. So still there is some hope for people that they haven't passed and they are in the reserve list in order to get funded. We have also a redress process. The valid grounds of this redress process has to do only with eligibility errors and procedural issues. You have clearly to describe your complaint and submit it by your legal representative, and this complaint has to be sent to this specific email address so that we can review it. The committee, of course, will not question scientific technical judgment of the experts, and we will accept only one request per proposal. This procedure has to be completed within 3 working days since you have received your rejection letter with the ESR. Now some details regarding the external evaluators. The application is already open. We have already received quite a few applications, but we are open to receive some more, so please spread the word if you have people that they can help us with the evaluation. The application started on the 1st of January and it's going to close in mid-February, 15th of February, 5 o'clock set time. The external evaluators are going to use the same platform as the open call evaluators, so registration will be required, and of course for more information you can visit this link here, which redirects you to our website. And we have also created a YouTube demonstration video on how you can use our platform in order to submit your application. The main evaluators' responsibilities and requirements. Your role will be to review, of course, and evaluate the proposals that are going to be submitted throughout the 3 open calls. As we said, the proposals are going to be evaluated based on 4 criteria from 0 to 5 points scale each. Of course, there is a minimum here for each criteria. You have to get 3, otherwise your proposal is not going to go through. Of course, to provide constructive feedback and a detailed ESR at the end of your review, and participate in the consensus meeting after you finish your evaluation. Of course, the conflict of interest, you must declare if you have any potential conflicts immediately, and to withdraw from affected proposals if the conflict exists. Confidentiality requirements, strict confidentiality obligation is required, and this applies during and after the evaluation. You cannot disclose applicant identities or proposal content or other evaluators' opinions. And the requirements to be a successful applicant is to have expertise in cybersecurity, the NIS2 sectors or relevant technical domains, no involvement, of course, in submitted proposals, and to be available during the evaluation period. All this information is given with specific dates and etc. is given in the guidelines that can be found on our website. These are the evaluation criteria. I have already mentioned it earlier. So it's the relevance and excellence, the methodological soundness, the ambition and the impact, and the implementation and the team's expertise and skills. And then, as I said, there's a minimum 3 out of 5 points per criterion in order to have a successful proposal. Regarding the compensation now, we pay 90 euros per proposal, and we have 3 annexes, 3 legal documents that are provided on our website. Of course, there's no need to fill in anything now, but it's nice to go through them and see the contract, the conflict of interest terms, and the third annex is the bank details. All these documents are going to be filled in if you are successful. And here is the Gantt chart, just to give an overview of the whole procedure, and this applies for both open applicants and external evaluators. So as I said, the open call started on the 1st of January. They're going to finish on the 1st of March. For the external evaluators, the calls are going to end 2 weeks before the open calls. So now we will have around 2 weeks to select and evaluate which evaluators are going to be successful. Then we will prepare the contracts for the external evaluators in the first 2 weeks of March. And then the evaluation period will start. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. The evaluation of the proposals are going to finish the end of March. Then we will have the consensus meetings with all the evaluators in order to formalize the results. And then mid-April, we will announce the results, including the reserve list. And here we will also allow this period of time for this redress procedure that I explained earlier. In case, if needed, the reserve list will be used. And sometime in May, in the second week of May, we will start, after we have finalized everything, we will announce the final results and the successful applicants, and we will give a period of 2 weeks in order for all the contracts to be signed, targeting initial date of a starting date of the FSTP projects to be on the 1st of June, which is month 25 for our timeline in the project. And this project will run for 8 months. So end of January, hopefully we will finish with all projects under all 3 open calls. We will have monthly technical meetings, so that if you have any issues, our technical partner, you have a dedicated technical partner from our consortium in order to help you with your progress and answer your queries. So every month, at the end of the month, you will have this meeting. As we said, at the end of within the first month, you will have the first pre-financing payment. The second will be in month 4, and the last payment will be made after you have submitted all the deliverables and everything has been checked, and all your agreed work has been implemented as written in your proposal. The main contact points is this email, so if you have any queries, please send us an email. The website of CyberSynchrony is this one, where you can find all the documentation of the open calls, as I mentioned earlier. Please use this email only in case that you cannot find any information described in the guidelines. Hopefully, all of the information needed is there. But if you have any further queries, please send us an email, and we will make sure that your question will be included in our FAQ section, the frequent asked questions in our website, so that other people can access it. And this is the link again of our submission platform. Please register early. Don't wait for the last moment. Make sure that you submit a few days earlier than the deadline. And we wish you all the best with your application. And of course, we are looking forward to your innovative proposals. This is all from my side. So now we can go to Evangelos Michos from Janus Technologies, which is our technical coordinator of CyberSynchrony project. And Evangelos is going to go through all 3 open calls in more detail. And Evangelos will also give you a more detailed architecture of our modules. Evangelos, are you there?
Thank you, Panos. Thank you. Good morning to everyone. I will be speaking from the position of the technical coordinator of the project. So I will make a brief introduction on technically what is required. So to start, actually, in a nutshell, one could say that the goal is that we attract tools, services, and expertise that will strengthen our platform and support cybersecurity deployment in the niche 2 sectors. So from your end, the third parties, you shall propose your own tools, services, or methodologies, and you must showcase how this will apply in our cybersynchrony modules. And the value offered by our consortium is that we offer access to the platform architecture and context, APIs, and technical guidance. And of course, if your proposal is funded, you as a third party, you will deliver an integrated solution, either a training method or an awareness method or something that extends our platform, or a tool or a service that fits in our project's objectives. As applicants, we want to make this perfectly clear, and this is why it is written in the clearest manner. You're not getting any pre-installed software, or nor we will install anything at your premises. No, Panos, no, please go back. But what we are going to do is that we will help you draft a proposal that explains from your end what you are adapting to us, which open call you're targeting, and how you're covering the priority areas, which of the cybersynchrony modules you integrate, and how your solution, if technical, will reach TRL 7. So you're developing and testing your own solutions integrated with the cybersynchrony architecture, using access to our API specifications and technical support, again, if your solution is to be technical. Next slide. So the objectives in general for the open calls is that we're designing and implementing targeted open calls that align with our modular architecture and the cybersynchrony priorities. For example, many of you will know the NIS 2. We must ensure compliance, transparency, and impact by adhering to standards and open practices. We will be monitoring the funding activities. As Panos said, we will have monthly meetings for guidance. We will be selecting and supporting you as third-party beneficiaries in order to validate the approach, and we must align with the cybersynchrony and EU cybersecurity priorities. Next slide. So, as you will see, we have 3 open calls. These are all visible in the CYberSynchrony website our consortium has, so feel free to access it and read at your own pace. We have 3 calls. The first call is about the infrastructure resilience and operational readiness. This is more of a software-heavy open call that relates to deploying tools and processes to detect, monitor, and respond to cyber threats in these 2 sectors. So what we are focusing here, we are focusing on situational awareness, threat detection, automation, and rapid response. Next up, our second call relates to compliance, innovation, and regulatory advancement. In here, we expect entities to improve or validate the cybersecurity governance, regulatory compliance, and standardization, and we will be giving focus on tools for auditing, compliance monitoring, cyber hygiene, and policy toolkits. The third open call is about mutual assistance and cross-border collaboration. So in here, your proposal should address how you foster collaboration across member states, how you simulate instant response and data sharing. So this includes exercises using our secure communication and coordination modules. Next slide. So in here, we will be talking a little bit about the open calls one by one. So we will be starting with the first one, which is the infrastructure resilience and operational readiness. As we said, this is the more tech-heavy open call, and this expects strengthening the cybersecurity infrastructure and operational readiness in these 2 directive sectors. Namely, I'm sure you know it, it's energy transport, drinking water supply and distribution, and manufacturing. So this call, open call 1, supports solutions that will enhance resilience against cyber threats and improve the ability of organizations to detect, analyze, and respond to incidents. Proposals are expected to demonstrate direct relevance to operational environments and support real-world cybersecurity operation rather than submitting something that is conceptual only. Next slide. Mandatory priority areas. For this open call, you must address all of them. This is based on the guidelines we have for the open calls. So in here, the first priority area is that you need to strengthen the cybersecurity operations by establishing or reinforcing the operational security hubs adapted to the needs of these 2 sectors. Furthermore, you need to enhance threat intelligence and risk assessment, again, for the same sectors. For example, real-time monitoring, predictive analytics, threat hunting, and risk scenario modeling. You need to be promoting cybersecurity awareness in the niche 2 sectors. For example, you may do this through training programs, awareness campaigns, and cybersecurity hygiene. And you need to be supporting cross-border collaboration to transfer best practices between the niche 2 domains. Some mandatory KPIs we expect in the proposals, this must be defined by you, is the number of essential entities supported, how many threat assessment or risk analysis you will perform, and how many risk monitoring services you shall provide. Next slide. The proposals that address open call 1 must align with the following objectives. Again, this is all information directly from the guidelines. You shall find them in the CyberSynchrony platform. You need to improve threat and risk assessment through the use of advanced threat intelligence platforms, analytics tools, and risk assessment methods. You must strengthen risk monitoring and early incident detection through analytics. You must foster collaboration and knowledge sharing among stakeholders in the cybersecurity ecosystem, and you may do this by enabling real-time exchange of information and experiences. You must enhance early detection and response to cyber incidents using these tools and components, and you must promote cybersecurity awareness and behavioral change by implementing educational programs, training activities, and awareness campaigns. Next slide, Panos. OpenCall 2 is less software related. It's mostly related about the regulatory and compliance dimension of cybersecurity in the NIS 2 sectors. In this open call, we expect solutions that will enable organizations to achieve and maintain compliance with the European cybersecurity regulations, while at the same time fostering sector-specific innovation and governance practices. In here, we expect your proposals to encourage innovation that responds to sector-specific cybersecurity challenges, aligning with the regulatory requirements out there. Next slide. Again, there are some mandatory priority areas that, according to the guidelines, you must adhere to. For example, you should encourage regulatory compliance in NIS 2 sectors, and you may do this by supporting initiatives that facilitate compliance with cybersecurity regulations for the NIS 2 sectors. You need to boost the innovations in the NIS 2 domains by research and development of sector-specific cybersecurity tools, technologies, and methodologies. You must promote awareness in the NIS 2 sectors, again the same way as in OpenCall 1, and you need to be able to support cross-sector collaborations, knowledge transfer, and reuse of compliance practices. Some mandatory KPIs addressed, and this needs to be defined in your proposal, is the number of penetration tests provided, the number of essential entities supported, and vulnerabilities identified. Next slide, please. In here, the objectives that you must align with is collaboration and knowledge sharing among stakeholders in the cybersecurity ecosystem through exchange of information and experiences, promoting cybersecurity awareness and behavioral change through educational programs, training activities, and awareness campaigns, ensuring high and consistent level of cybersecurity across the EU through policies, regulatory alignment, standardization, certification, and knowledge dissemination. Next slide, Panos. The last open call is about cross-border collaboration. In this open call, we're expecting proposals to strengthen cross-border cybersecurity across the member states. If I remember correctly, this is one open call that you cannot submit on your own. You need to be part of a consortium, if I remember correctly. The call promotes mutual assistance, coordinated preparedness, and shared operational capabilities. So we need to foster coordinated response, situational awareness, and collaboration, cross-border collaboration between shared national authorities and the relevant stakeholders involved. So you should demonstrate how you enhance collaboration and capability across the member states as a consortium. Next slide. In the priority areas, in Open Call 3, you need to address at least one. It's not mandatory to address all of them. So you can either establish some threat intelligence platform by developing or enhancing systems that enable real-time threat intelligence across member states, joint cybersecurity exercises and training by organizing cross-border exercises, or incident response collaboration by creating or strengthening mechanisms that can support rapid coordination when, let's say, cyber incidents occur across multiple countries in the member states. Some mandatories addressed to your proposals relate to the number of users trained by the exercise and the number of cross-border actions defined in your proposal. Next slide. So ultimately, the Open Call 3 should align with the following. It should be able to minimize the duration and impact of cyber incidents through the integration of orchestration and automation processes. You should enhance mutual assistance across the member states and enable a more realistic cross-border cyber exercise deployment through cyber range platforms, and you should ensure data privacy and secure communication through information sharing between the member states through, let's say, an infrastructure that offers threat intelligence, incident data, and best practices. Next slide. So up to this point, we have made, let's say, a brief introduction and explained what each open call addresses. So I will be explaining a very high level approach of our architecture. So imagine that the CyberSynchrony platform, the core UI, is at the top layer of our architectures. It is where system users log in. It is the UI they see, and this offers all the UI and the relevant REST API endpoints for connections. In here we have, of course, user access, component discovery. For example, you can discover all the components that belongs to modules, and license acquisition. So we offer something that is multi-tenant in a federated environment. It is very important that we have covered the identity management because we need to ensure secure access, authentication, and encrypted communication, which is done through the keycloak component in our architecture. Each module, as explained by Panos earlier, covers a specific cybersecurity purpose, and via this approach, via having each module target a specific area of expertise, as you will see in the later presentations, we have a very flexible deployment. We allow end users to only use the modules they need for the specific use case, and in the end, this reduces, the operational and computational overhead by just using the components you need. Next slide. Moving on in this architecture, and here. Moving on in this architecture, after we have logged in and we have passed the initial UI and the keycloak authentication, we see that we have the data encryption and integrity layer, which allows our architecture for trust through immutable hash-based integrity mechanisms and distributed ledger technologies. This is basically a blockchain component we use for immutability, and this relates to a cloud deployment we have. Our deployment is split between a non-cloud cloud deployment for the computationally heavy processes and an on-premise deployment, which is installed in the organization critical infrastructures we want to track the telemetry. And this information, the agents feed information to the cloud premises. So in here, in the on-premises, you can see that we have data collection agents on each infrastructure of the NIS2 sectors, let's say. So in here we have tools that gather logs and telemetry, network data, packet transfers, and act as IDS and CM components. For example, Wazo and Suricata, many of you most probably are familiar with such telemetry tools. And these tools feed all the relevant telemetry information and traffic packaging in the on-cloud deployment. The datasets we have in the cloud deployment are digitally fingerprinted, encrypted, and securely stored. And as far as the external users are concerned, they may access selected public data with integrity guarantees from the ledger we have in the architecture. And of course, we have tackled not only the functional requirements that were derived from the requirements workshops and all the work completed in the first year of the project, we have addressed many non-functional requirements such as security, scalability, fast response times, interoperability, and extensibility. And I think next is the last slide for this presentation. And ultimately, from your point of view, through the FSTP, you can submit proposals to either Open Call 1, Open Call 2, and Open Call 3. You must specify which objectives you are addressing, which objectives you are targeting, and which KPIs you define in your proposal. Then, upon successful completions, you will be able to use the components from the modules you have targeted, for example, Cybright or Cybera. This is just 2 of the 6 modules we're offering, and then you will be developing solutions, tools, or training or awareness campaign. This depends on whether you will be submitting a proposal technical or you will submitting a proposal that it either for policy, compliance, or awareness or training. Panos, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last
Yes.
slide.
Yes, that's thank you very much, Evangelos.
We have another one. We have one more slide. Yes, it's also this one. And then I have the next presentation also. So in here, ultimately, as you know, something final regarding the open calls and the technical architecture is that, of course, all of the open calls that are defined are designed to extend and reinforce our modular architecture. So your proposals can integrate, depending on which open calls you will submit to, integrate with one or more modules, and more information for these modules that you see here. You will have extensive presentations in the next minutes. The integration, of course, will be based on open interfaces and standard practices. So, of course, you will have access to the relevant REST API endpoints that we have in our architecture. And the technical management team that will be involved in this proposal are the technical partners of this consortium, of the CYberSynchrony consortium. And I think that we can move, since we will have all the questions in the end of the session, I think that, Panos, we can move to the Cybera presentation.
Yes. There you are.
Okay. Okay. Can you go just to the previous slide? 1 minute.
Yes.
Okay. In here, as we said, the technical architecture of the project is split into modules. You can imagine it as modules as a service. This might help you a little bit more imagining all the components and all the modules as modules as a service. We have 6 modules in architecture, and a SOC analyst that can log in the website, can access the module he needs and have the capabilities, the tools that are related to that purpose. From the 6 modules, I will present this one, the Cybera module, and other partners shall present the other ones. In here, we're talking about threat intelligence and risk analysis. Panos, next slide. So this module, let's say, capabilities, the tools addressed in the Cybera module are tools that offer threat intelligence and decision support. Somebody that uses this module, it enables critical infrastructures to understand, anticipate, and prioritize cybersecurity threats through structured intelligence and risk analysis. In here, the module focuses on analyzing threat information and translating it into actionable insights and knowledge. Very important, and this is something that is not offered by the technical architecture, is the fact that ultimately in architecture there is at no point any actions. Our approach stops at the recommendations. So the last point of architecture are the recommendations and let's say action insights, but at no point there are any automated actions. So this is why I specifically stated the actions need to be performed manually by the SOC analyst based on the actionable insights and recommendations offered by the platform. So Cybera does not execute in the end actually anything. It just provides the information and the analytical foundation needed for incident response, and it is the responsibility of the SOC analyst to review the outputs and act accordingly. Next slide. So the capabilities of this module is aggregation and enrichment of global and sector-specific threat intelligence, correlation of IOCs, indicators of compromise, with the relevant risk information, analysis of the threat relevance and potential impact for the relevant environments, and decision support through response playbooks offered in this module that help security teams evaluate mitigation options before the incident can escalate. As you can see right here, it's again, it's proactive. So we provide the information, and it is either the SOC analyst or the security teams that must actually take action based on the information. Next slide. The tools offered in this module are two in total. It is MISP. Some of you might know it. It is a component. It is an open source tool named as Malware Information Sharing Platform. Very well known. It offers core threat intelligence analytics for managing, enriching, and sharing IOCs. It is used by search, SOC analysts, police authorities, and critical infrastructure operators in order to collect, structure, correlate, and share cyber threat intelligence. It enables automated ingestion from trusted feeds, and it supports many STIX formats and JSON formats through the REST API connections. The next tool is the response playbooks. It is actually a predefined step-by-step response guides linked to threat intelligence findings. It can assist somebody in asserting the response options and any needs he has regarding coordinating efforts, and it will be exposed by APIs and dashboards in order to achieve the connectivity. So regarding how relevant it is and how the integration shall occur here, the open call applicants can integrate the threat intelligence sources, the analytics engines, or specific risk models inside Cyber through well-known API connectivities. The solutions will extend the intelligence enrichment, correlation logic, and decision support workflows. The outputs from this module will help towards better incident response and resilience, and the module, as a module, it supports measurable outcomes such as, for example, improved threat awareness, prioritized risk scenarios, and enhanced preparedness. Panos, I think that's the last slide from my end. Yes.
Yes. So we can move on to the next module, which is the Cybrid, and it's going to be presented by Kostas Andrikos from Maggioli.
Yes.
Kostas,
hello, everyone. Thank you, Panos.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I will be talking about the Cybrid module offered within the CyberSynchrony ecosystem, which is labeled as the proactive risk monitoring and incident response module. So just in the brief explanation of the module, if we can move to the next slide, please, Panos. So Cybrid is the continuous monitoring and early warning module of the platform. We can think of it as the always-on sensor of the entire CyberSynchrony ecosystem, in the sense that it provides real-time visibility of cyber threats by analyzing technical, operational, or behavioral data of the monitor infrastructure. It supports proactive risk management by detecting threats at the earliest possible stage, and the outputs of this module are later on fed to other CyberSynchrony modules for incident response and coordination. So in the next slide, these are the core capabilities of this module, which, as we mentioned, the continuous monitoring of CM systems or network telemetry and user and entity behavior. Of course, is the early threat detections in which we use to do so. We are using anomaly detection tools for both system logs or user behavior and suspicious activity patterns that are detected. Some of the another capability of this module is the advanced analytics, in the sense that it provides a behavioral baselining of the monitor infrastructure, and it can also score the anomalies that have been targeted. So in the next slide, we can see some of the tools that are offered within this module. First is the Security Information and Event Management System, the Wazoo agent, which I'm pretty sure all the technical audience are already familiar with, which actually the Wazoo agents monitors the endpoint server and application and collects security events and integrates with Sysmon telemetry, and it is accessible via REST APIs for automation. And we also there is also a dashboard that is also accessible. In the same sense is a Suricata agent, which inspects live network traffic for suspicious or malicious activity. It is more on the signature IDS side of tools. It's in the sense that it applies some predefined tools in order to detect emerging threats, and the output is a JSON formatted, compatible with Azure's indexer. Next tools, there are first there is the anomaly detector intrusion detection system, which is an AI-based IDS. It analyzes aggregated Wazoo and Suricata logs in order to provide detection of cyber threats or abnormal system behavior or user behavior compared to the baselines that have been calculated in advance. And finally is the WECA tool, which is the machine learning analytics agent. This again consumes Wazoo and Suricata logs, but it is more tailored to the user entity and user behavior analytics, because it also consumes such kind of data as well. So in the next slide, for the open for the applicants, what must be of interest is the detection outputs and behavioral insights are exposed through interfaces ready for consumption of incident response, coordination, and collaboration with other modules within the platform. Applicants can integrate solutions via continuous monitoring and early threat detections via standard data formats and APIs. And we are looking actually for solutions that may enhance real-time analytics, behavioral baselining of the monitor infrastructure, anomaly correlation with explainable outputs, which is something that it is of great interest in order to provide explainability outputs of those detections, early detection workflows, and of course align with NIS2 monitoring and resilience requirements. So that is it from my side for the CyberSynchrony module. And I think Panos.
Thank you, Kostas.
Thank you.
Shall we move on to the next presentation by Dimitris Koutras from Focal Point?
Hello, everyone. Hello. Let's see the side issue, the overview. Let's move on to the next slide. So, what is about CyberRescue? CyberRescue is an AI-driven module focused on cyber incident response management. Okay, and it is designed mostly to support organizations during some complex cyber incidents by combining technology with human decision making. The module also enables coordination across multiple teams and sectors and some stakeholders, and overall aims to improve situational awareness. That is our main concern. Response speed, of course, and resilience during cyber emergencies. Let's move on to the next. Okay, now some of the capabilities of the CyberRescue. Provides real-time detection and assessment of cyber incidents, helping organizations quickly to understand the scope and the impact of an attack. It also supports coordinated response and escalation by aligning operational and technical actions. And this module, of course, uses AI analytics and integrated threat intelligence to assist decision makers. Here is the human decision making that we discussed before with data-driven recommendations. Now let's move on to the next slide concerning the tools that offered in this module. We will see three tools: the PTA, the CSPA, and the SBA. Let's start with the PTA. This tool focuses on predicting cyber threats before they fully materialize. It uses AI and analytics to identify emerging attack patterns and potential threat evolution. Also prioritizes risks based on likelihood and potential impact, because the impact is also a very, very important factor, especially in the risk assessment procedure, and also helping teams to focus on what matters most, of course. The last but not least enables proactive decision making and early mitigation actions rather than reactive responses. It looks like more like a penetration testing procedure, and we see this in that way. Now, SBS. The SBS tool provides a campaign-based cyber attack simulation inspired by Middle Caldera. Okay. So SBS is used to validate detection capabilities, incident response processes, and overall cyber readiness. So it is more like Caldera scenarios. And then let's move on to the CSPA. The CSPA consumes the asset map produced by the ASA tool. The ASA tool is a tool from another module. So it takes the output from the ASA tool and it takes as an input. It runs comparison and correlation queries against the OSCTI threat intelligence database. It's a very famous database concerning the correlation queries, and also maps identified risks to recognize frameworks such as the Sunstop 20-meter attack and the MITRE defend. So here we have a correlation, a combination of a lot of databases that are very famous in the cybersecurity. And the idea here is imagine a tool or a scenario that can combine all those information or help the existing tools to be more accurate. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. The relevance and the integration, of course. Here you will see some ideas of what you can do. Of course, you can propose some solutions that can work together with those tools that we discussed before. You can add new ways to discover assets risk, to analyze sector-specific infrastructure using the CSPA tool that we discussed before. be careful with that sector specific infrastructure, for example, energy, healthcare, or maybe and maritime. Okay, these will be great scenarios. Then you can turn some technical findings into clear security actions and priorities that organizations can easily apply. So you have to think about what an organization or a company can easily apply as a tool or something like that, or as a service for sending the database that we discussed before and all that stuff. And of course, applicants are encouraged to support testing and training activities using PTA and SBS to improve readiness and NIS2 compliance. I want to remind you that PTA is more like a penetration testing procedure, and SBS is more like a Caldera campaign. So a way to use those stuff in order to improve readiness and NIS2 compliance, it will be more than enough. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dimitris. Let's move on to the next presentation, which is going to be given by Dimitris Antoniou from Iannus Technologies. Dimitri, are you here? Okay.
It is muted, I think, Panos.
Let me give him what is, you should be, your mic is deactivated, Dimitri. Oh yeah, let me give you access. Now you have access, yes.
Hi everyone, we made it. Hi, good morning. Apologies for not turning on my camera, but I'm not in a state. I'm sick. It's a little cold here. So, CyberGo Plus, that's the governance standards and regulatory compliance module of the CyberSynchrony platform. What does that entail? If we can go please to the next slide. So, is what we call the GRC module. What do we mean by GRC? Governance, risk, and compliance. In other words, the soft activities of cybersecurity. What does that mean? It all begins with policies. So what is a policy? It's a codification of management's intent. And our module has a policy toolkit, which can help you developing these policies in alignment with NIS2. We also have our risk assessment module, which allows you, given that you are aware of your risk environment, you can then further define your policies and procedures. It's just that we have to make it clear, even though that the CyberGo Plus is a tool that assists with your governance, risk, and compliance, it's not there to make decisions instead of you or supplement or replace the management of organization. Can go to the next slide, please. Now, what are the capabilities of the module? We'll see in the next slide the specific tools that the module has, but what can it do? The very first thing it can do is an attack surface analysis. So it's what we call a risk assessment. It's just this risk assessment is not a paper tabletop risk assessment. It's actually looking into your systems and tells you which are the systems and the surface, as we call it, the exposed surface of your environment, and then identify the risk of that. So the evolution that we have from this tool in comparison to the traditional risk assessment is that this actually looks at the technical situation of your environment. We also have the provision of the template policy toolkit, which has been aligned with the NIS2. We can assist in the development of a compliance mapping architecture. We are at the architecture level here. Every environment is different, so we cannot create a one-size-fits-all. But what we can assist you with is find out which are the critical systems within your environment, and then come up with the architecture which enables these systems to generate the necessary evidence, which can then be used to justify your compliance. So in a way, we can map the architecture that connects the technical situation to the compliance discussion in a way. And last but not least, we have our Sneak tool, which enables you to do a code review and vulnerability scanning. So if you're an organization which develops code, and specifically because we all use third-party libraries in our development, it's important that you have some visibility on potential vulnerabilities that may be introduced by these third-party libraries. And it's exactly what that tool does. It scans your code and the dependencies, and based on that, it can tell you whether or not you have exposure to any vulnerabilities. If we can go to the next slide, please. So what are the tools? As we said, we have the attack surface analysis. It analyzes the endpoints and the infrastructure to find the vulnerabilities. It uses best practice frameworks for vulnerability identification and classification. And then in the end, you get a report which tells you how that technical situation impacts your compliance outlook. Then we have the policy tools. So it's what we said before. We have the policies ready. They are very well written. They are specifically adapted to be within IS2. So it's not just some run-of-the-mill policy that you get. And then that is also mapped, further mapped to compliance frameworks. Definitely the IS2, but we also have what contributes to your GDPR compliance and what can be used if you aim for ISO 27 certification. What are the technical controls that you can map to that? Then we have Sneak that does the code and dependency review, as we said before. It scans the code and its dependencies for vulnerabilities. And if we go, I think that's it. So we have one more. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, so what's the relevance of this? It's all about integrating CyberGo Plus in your existing monitoring capabilities. So usually this is more applicable to organizations that are very strong technically, but they lack those skills, the compliance, the risk skills. So it can help you there. It can at least give you a foundation. Obviously, it's adaptable. We did it for an IS2, but it can be applied to many other frameworks of standards. I mean, as we all know, best practice is best practice. So ISO 27000, for example, in an IS2, the fundamental asks are pretty much the same. So this makes it adaptable. The policy templates, again, you don't really have to be an IS2 regulator. You know, obviously it will help you, but even beyond compliance, it can help you set up your information security framework. And I mean, why are we doing this? Is that we have found as part of the project that there is a lack of skill. A lot of organizations have the technical people, but then you have the super non-technical people, and there is that gap. So how do we have the capability of having the compliance discussion whilst being committed to the technical, let's say, our profile of the company? Okay, and I think that's it. I don't know if I have another slide, and that's it for the CyberGo Plus. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Dimitris. Let's go to the next presenter, which is Vasilis Kelleris from Byte.
Thank you, Panos. Thank you, Dimitri. So now we move on to the cross-core module, which stands for cross-border cyber collaboration and secure response. So you can imagine this component as the layer where we reinforce the privacy-preserving mechanisms, and we use blockchain to store all the transaction and apply mutability on the system. So cross-core is the cross-border collaboration and secure response module. So through this component, through this module, we enable trusted, secure, and privacy-preserving exchange of data. With this module, we ensure data integrity and non-repudiation. Also, we support mutual assistance and coordinated incident response. We enable secure handling of digital evidence across heterogeneous infrastructures. So different systems with different technology that have been built can communicate without effort and no problem. And also we provide cryptographic trust guarantees through blockchain-based mechanisms. Imagine that specific hashes are stored on the blockchain. We use Hyperledger Fabric for the implementation, and in this way, after the transaction has been stored successfully on the blockchain, no one can deny that the specific action has been done. Now, CrossCore acts as the trust and coordination backbone of the CyberSynchrony platform and connects detection, intelligence, and response within the CyberSynchrony ecosystem. So the capabilities of this module are that we can have secure cross-border data exchange. As we said, we have the permissioned blockchain infrastructure that allow to share trusted information between member states. This blockchain implementation has specific REST APIs exposed, and the successful applicants will be able to interact with the blockchain solution deployed on the CyberSynchrony platform. Also have evidence integrity and auditability. Using this hash-based technique I described before, we are sure that each transaction that is stored on the blockchain is completed and no one can deny it happened. And we offer end-to-end data confidentiality, client-side encryption. So for this approach, we use both symmetric and asymmetric cryptography techniques. And we have secure storage and transmission of all the critical information of the scenarios. Finally, in the CyberSecurity platform, we have developed different kinds of differential privacy and homomorphic encryption techniques. With these techniques, we are able to be sure that no individual information can be revealed, and when data are transferred through the web, they are homomorphically encrypted, and we are able to make specific calculation on data without the need being sure that no data will be revealed to anyone, and we can make specific calculation on this kind of data and produce specific results. All right. So the tools offered on this module, we have, as we said, the Hyperledger Fabric, permissioned blockchain. For the immutability, the chain codes, the smart contracts are written in Go language. As Vangeli stated, our technical coordinator, we have the Keycloak, the identity access management, the role-based instance of Keycloak. So we have different kinds of roles that can be can log into the system and make specific actions, for example, SOC analyst, administrator, etc. We have our different cryptographic mechanisms, AES, RSA, SHA. We also have IPFS, which is a decentralized peer-to-peer open source tool to share your files in a secure way using CIDs, and the whole technical approach will be described in more details. These CIDs are stored on the blockchain for security and privacy. Also, we have, as we said, referential privacy and homomorphic encryption techniques. And finally, all these tools, you can interact with them using specific exposed REST APIs to interact with the blockchain, to store and register your hashes or your metadata on the blockchain, and develop your solution integrating with our platform. So next slide, please, Panos. Okay, regarding the relevance and integration, open call applicants can integrate with CrossCore module by calling the specific REST APIs. After they have been authenticated using the Keycloak instance, they get the specific JWT token, and they can then interact with the Hyperledger Fabric blockchain. Also, the applicants can develop fabric-based services that support secure cross-border information exchange, evidence handling, and coordinating the response between member states. And also, finally, the applicants can develop their own differential privacy and homomorphic encryption techniques to enable privacy preserving analytics and collaboration on shared cross-border data. With this said, we have covered the CyberRite, which is the incident detection, the Cybera module about the threat intelligence, the CyRescue module of verified evidence and coordinated response, CyberGo Plus regarding auditability and compliance support, and now we can move on to the final module, which is CyberWise regarding trusted sharing of awareness outcomes.
Thank you, Vasilis, for your presentation. So we can move on to the next presentation by Leandros Maglaras from Trastilio. Leandros, are you here? Oh, yes. Let me enable. Hold on. Leandros, I think that you should be fine. No? Not yet. Let me do it again. Now? Let me do it again, Leandre. Now you should be fine. Let me see, because yes. Now you should be fine. For some reason, you are connected with two accounts, so that's why. Now
Yeah,
you
I
are
just
able
reconnected
to...
with my another account because it wasn't possible with the previous one. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
So it's good that we had these incidences. We are going to present the human factor. So we have the cybersecurity awareness platform and gamification, the CyberWise, the last module we're presenting from CyberSynchrony. Let's go to the next slide, please. So CyberWise aims to promote awareness and education across all levels of society through the modules we are offering. It helps education of staff, especially focused on critical infrastructures. And we're trying to develop a comprehensive training program based on gamification, which is very important, we think. So the module focuses on engaging citizens, business, organization, and educate them about the emerging threats and risks and how to be safe in their digital life. So next slide. So we have training modules, interactive awareness platforms, behavioral analytics tools to engage users from different sectors and having in mind that they have different levels of expertise. We aim in public administration staff of offering best practices and make them aware of the potential threats. We aim to have online modules on cybersecurity awareness for students, faculty, and staff, and targeted campaigns that simulate real-world social engineering threats. So let me now show you the three tools we have. In the next slide, we have the first two. The first is Trust Sense, which enables organizations to assess the maturity to embed trustworthy AI applications or solutions. So this has several levels, from creating teams, from risk assessors, and assign some roles, and then the team members access the assessments that are produced, and based on this to get actionable mitigation recommendations. This is the first tool. The second tool, which is based on an open source platform, is for creating phishing campaigns. So we have all the layers here, from planning the simulation strategy, from developing the attack vector and execute the attack, collecting data and monitoring the behavior of the users, and offering to the organizations analytical reports. Of course, having in mind the privacy preservation without disclosing any personal information of the employees that have been lured into the attack, and also some tailored education. And this can also be followed by continuous improvement and iteration in order to see how the organization behaves after some rounds of attacks. Next slide, please. You have the CyberGate, which is gamified awareness and training platform. Here we have interactive learning environment that teaches concepts based on meter attack tactics, real-world attack paths. In order to do that, we have some simulated cyber incidents, and users can play this in order to understand how attackers operate and how they can defend their systems. So this includes several parts like missions, mini games, and also has a progress scoring in order to make users be more competitive, let's say. And the next slide. So what are we expecting? We have an open call for applicants that can offer some campaigns, training programs tailored to professionals and stakeholders in critical sectors, to promote best practices for risk mitigation, cybersecurity, hygiene, specific to each sector's challenges and requirements, and to offer unique training and awareness mechanisms that can be combined, which is the ideal, with existing solutions to increase their efficiency. So that's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Leandros, for your presentation. With Leandros' presentation, we have concluded all our presentations for today. We are running out of time now because actually we are 5 minutes late. We can, for the Q&A, we have a question from participant here saying, are single public entities entitled for call 2? Yes, for call 1 and call 2, both single entity proposals are allowed in consortium. The only restriction is for open call 3, where only consortium of 2 or 3 entities is allowed. I cannot see any more. Let me see if there are any more questions. No, I cannot see any more. Let me see in the chat. No. But please, if you have any more questions related to what you have listened today, please send us an email to the email that I have provided in my presentation, because we are planning to gather all your questions in a frequent asked questions section, and we're going to upload it to our website so that all applicants can have access. So that's all from us for today. Thank you very much for attending. I hope to have all of you to have some successful applications, and we are looking forward to your proposals. That's all from me. I don't know if any partners and from the technical partners from consortium want to say anything. Okay. Thank you very much for your participation, and I hope that we will receive lots of nice and innovative proposals. Thank you. Have a nice day. See you.